So for semi-final, right? So I think like these four, there is no like 100% winner here. No, actually like quite there is like no guaranteed winner by these four teams lah. So
Mm.
for the first match, right, you're gonna go for Italy and Spain. For so this one, right? So okay, Farid. So any thoughts on this major match catch up?
Ooh, this one quite susah,
I know, right? I know, I know.
Quite susah. Like although okay, Italy never lost, they're very solid, but they showed some weakness to Belgium. That's a problem. They showed that they have a weakness also. Like they can be broken down, and they really have to, I'll say, park the bus to win. Spain, when they have the flow, they can attack, but also like what we say discussed earlier, like Spain also like almost a follow mood. I think. But when Spain goes up full on attack like Ferran Torres, they can be dangerous. And then if Morata doesn't have his shooting boots, even worse lah. Bonucci and Cellini will just step on him. So it's like I don't know. It's I think Italy would have the edge because they are more of a well-drilled team. Like they are smart when they play. They have a like also what you said just now, Brian. Like they have a different types of attack. They
Yeah,
can whip it
definitely.
in from crosses. They can have a target man in Immobile, or they have just a little man that can run through everyone in Insigne, and then they have Verratti and Barella who like their stamina like mad lah. They can run the whole time. But unless Spain somehow finds out that Italy are quite bad without their star left back, then maybe they can what's that? They can exploit that lah. So I don't know, it's a very 50-50 game for me, but I think by team wise, I think Italy will have the edge.
Mm, agree to it lah. So yeah, so as you mentioned, because Spinazzola he got a pretty bad injury, right? Then the left back
Mm.
position is actually quite empty lah. So if I say who might come out, I think it's Florenzi, but I'm not sure yet lah. But the thing is, for Spain, actually their main attacking right winger is Ferran Torres. If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Ferran Torres, he so far until now he's actually one of the main threats for Spain, right? In attacking
Yeah.
wise. Yep. So if Italy they really couldn't get replacement for Spinazzola against Ferran Torres, I think they might have some troubles or problems against him during the match. Hmm. So
Possibilities of them playing five at the back, maybe. Could
yeah.
be. Mm.
So become so anything you want to share?
I think we talk about Spain.
Hmm.
Saw one stat, right? I don't know where, but Pedri and two other Spanish players, they had the most passes in the final third.
Mm. Pedri's a class player lah for a young kid. Seriously, Barcelona groomed him well.
The thing is that he's not from La Masia, you know. He's from somewhere else transferred to Barcelona.
Yeah.
So I think like, it's not because if you think about Spanish generation talent from Barcelona, you only can think from La Masia, right? But like outsider to Barcelona without the academy, just directly into the first team squad, I think it's quite remarkable from the outsider.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also Spain have a Barcelona core. Like Enrique got a lot of criticism, right, for not playing the Real Madrid players. But what can people like Asensio or what can players like Asensio prove in this big stage? You see his previous 2-3 seasons, and there are players outside of Barcelona, Real Madrid who are performing way better.
Yep, true. I think the age of Real Madrid, Barcelona dominance is really gone. Honestly, even Real Madrid, their main squad is not even Spanish players anymore. I mean, it's really a mix of everywhere around the world.
Remember that the Barca core won the World Cup.
Yes, Barcelona won the previous World Cup. I mean, the 2010 World Cup.
And you see this this new Barca core is also in the semis now with Eric Garcia and Laporte, who lucky Laporte didn't respond to France. Or more like France abandoned him.
Yeah. Hey, Laporte playing balls on the back like damn good though. Like he's creating chances himself.
I think like that has come to Pep ideology. Because
Mhm.
if you notice, right, Pep Guardiola, he actually pick players that likes to hold the ball, making chances, for example, Ederson and Rashford now. But then that's a
Mhm.
critical story, really.
Mhm.
So yeah, so for Spain, I think yeah, so I think Ferran Torres might be their ace card lah against Spain, the left back position problem.
Mhm.
So yeah, so anything else on the check regarding Spain and Italy? Okay, so for Italy, right, the reason I think like one more motivation for them to take revenge on Spain, right, is actually for the 2012 Euro. Remember the pictures of Balotelli crying?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, like, but now back then, Italy they are not as a like how to say a well performed team like as to the Italy now, because I think like the new generation of Italy is here already lah. So I think like this might be their revenge lah for Italy. I think like a small bonus for them lah to think about them facing this thing.
I think also it's a really it's Italy's redemption season lah because they've been so poor on international competitions as of late. But also also Spain has been really quite poor on the international stage. But I think Italy has more to prove this time around.
So they come to any words for Italy or Spain?
I think everyone sum it up.
Yep.
We see the new Italian generation. Or I think it also goes for Spain. We move on from Xavi and Iniesta,
Yep.
and we have very promising players, and also some players that fell off like Isco and Asensio. Like
Yeah.
yeah, so they have to look for like players that can actually fill in where they fail.
Mhm.
So I think once again for Spain in the end I think it's still the creativity midfielder they are looking for, they have to look for. But I think so far now Pedri shows signs of glimpse for the position. I think he might be the player for that attacking side creativity midfielder. Alright, so for now it's prediction time. So for me I will go for Italy. Italy I think. They are way more solid than Spain for now. Their consistency, their defense is very solid. So I'm going to go for Italy. So
Yeah,
for it,
Italy for me also.
Italy, right?
Yeah,
Because
Italy also.
Yeah, despite like Spain having a lot of criticism for playing no Madrid players, they have a Barca core, but it's quite you can really applaud them for making it this far. But I don't want to see Spain get the most Euros in history, so I'll go with Italy.
wow, right? Against Spain.
But I got a feeling it might go to extra time with this game. It has a potential to go through an extra time type game.
Because I
Yeah.
think like both teams they are not well known for their like crazy attacking side lah. I mean they are more like holding the ball or either defending or holding the ball. I think like it's quite a similar gameplay matchup lah. I think for the end. Right. So for the next semi-final, I think this is a pretty big one. So Farid, I think like this is like your now or never moment now. England and Denmark. All right. So I
Yeah.
think I'm some first. So for Denmark player, they are not strange. They are not strangers to England team. I mean, like their gameplay, they know how to play. They got players playing in the Premier League, Hoiberg,
Yeah.
Kasper Schmeichel, and yeah. So once again, right? For England side, because like what can I say from the previous match, right? They are more like a crossing team that I mentioned earlier, a crossing style team to score a goal. But we can see right in Denmark team they have actually some tall and solid defenders. Christensen, Kerr, and Vestergaard, which plays for Southampton. So two from Premier League and one from AC Milan. So
Yeah.
right, I mean like if crossing because for England side they rely a lot from Luke Shaw's crossing into the box, and they are looking for like a tall defender, for example, like a corner from Maguire or Harry Kane to convert the header, right?
Yeah.
But I think this might be a challenge for them if they prefer to continue for a crossing method. So for these three defender, they're tall and solid. So I think like this might cause some problem for England for them to convert into a attacking method. But then once again for Denmark, right, they have Hoiberg, which is one of the good CDM from last season in the Premier League. Which played
Yep.
pretty well actually for Tottenham. So I mean like the midfield battle is going to be very interesting. So Farid, so what's your say on this?
Well, to me is I don't see England playing five at the back, so I hope they just continue playing four at the back. You are right. They have very tall defenders that can and will challenge the players in the air. So I think that this game England really needs to play more creative football. So, like I said in the previously, they need to have their creative players on the pitch. And actually, England can create from the middle, but in Ukraine, somehow Mason Mount wasn't having it. Like he's actually the central creative midfielder that's supposed to create chances. So I don't know. And because defensively, I think England's defense can take it. We have Maguire who's been consistent, and then Stones has been solid. But Walker, honestly, I have my concerns with Walker because he actually did have some scares against Ukraine, and but they are still solid. And then we have Declan Rice and then Calvin Phillips. They are very good CDMs. I mean, basically England's back is very solid in defense, and then Calvin Phillips can be box to box. So my only concern is the attack is as long as Gareth Southgate plays, I'm pretty sure Sterling's undroppable, Harry Kane's undroppable, and then just the other side, I think Sancho or Grealish has to start. That's for sure. If he plays Saka, I'll be like, yeah, you suck lah. But I think
All right. So
okay,
I'm gonna
so
ask you, right? Sorry, I'm gonna
yeah.
ask you. So as you mentioned, right, England they need their creativity midfielder. So let's say if you have a choice, right, four at the back, then the front three, as you mentioned earlier, Sterling, Kane, and Grealish or Sancho. So midfield, I think most likely will be Rice and Phillips. So who will actually be your attacking creativity midfielder for
I don't
England?
know. That's the thing. I'm a bit on the fence. I mean, Mount has been always playing there. I mean, he's good at when he receives the ball, he can turn out defense. Okay, because his first touch to turn and suddenly change of direction for defenders is good.
Yeah.
But the type of creative passes, I think I don't know. Although yes, Foden has been playing more on the wings, but Foden somehow knows how to play that De Bruyne type of, like, you get the ball, that single pass over the top, and then maybe Sterling, Sancho, or can go through. So maybe I wouldn't know whether would Foden ever be played behind a striker, but I know that previously he was a cam until Pep suddenly placed him more on the wing, which is quite weird. Still weird until today, in my opinion. So yeah,
Actually, he played false nine, but not really behind a striker.
yeah, but he does have that instinct of how to break down the pass or that run. So maybe I doubt it will happen, but either because we don't really have cabs, England squad. Yeah, they didn't bring J-Links on to the squad, so there's like we're really lacking on the attacking midfielder side. So it's either Mount or possibly Foden, or maybe, just maybe, Gareth decides to play two strikers up front, maybe to break down the defense, because Vestergaard, Kerr, and Christensen, they might be vulnerable to counter attacks at pace. So maybe, just maybe, they will play Rashford paired up with Kane, maybe. Yeah, maybe just or because the other attacking players, I think only Rashford can play as a striker in a way, although he's not that effective, but he has the more of an instinct to play as a striker than the rest. Unless maybe because I know Sancho played as a cam before in Dortmund, maybe he can play as a cam and there's Rashford on the other side, or with Grealish also. So that can be the attacking threat lah. So whatever it is, they need to have that. I think the whole squad is already secured. Know who's going to be there. I mean, the best, but except for that, just that either added striker or who's going to play behind Kane.
I think we discussed like the formations, the player selections, but only if Sterling is gonna square it to Kane.
Well, he did square it against in Ukraine. He did pass it to Kane and you.
We'll see against Denmark.
Yeah.
But yeah, Denmark, right? They showed that they are not like a one man nation team.
They're hard.
Yeah,
But
very
they
hard.
but they got to be, in a way, England does have home advantage in a way here.
Wembley, right? Yeah, all
Yeah.
the matches are now Wembley.
Yeah, so England has a chance to really, it's coming home, but maybe leave it home in a way. So
Someone
I
come to
don't know,
their
maybe
home and
can
take it.
yeah, but Denmark previously beat England in Wembley. That's the thing. So hopefully, can Denmark just persevere through it?
So the one thing I would like to share, right, is actually England defense. I think Farid actually mentioned they haven't conceded a goal yet, right?
Yeah, they haven't considered a goal.
I mean, like, they're quite crazy in the sense,
Mm,
because they, not to say they face all of the big team, they actually face Germany as well,
mm,
and they managed
mm,
to not to concede, but like besides the Muller one-on-one miss lah, but I think like yeah, like because previously for England defending, right, a lot of people say they're overrated, like why
mm.
overrated, the price Stones is overrated, but I think like this Euro, like they can play to their worth lah. Like shows like they are just not overrated defender or just typical your Premier League showboy defenders lah. I think like it's
Yeah.
quite amazing lah.
They sh- yeah, actually, I also want, honestly, when Maguire signed for United at that price, like 80 million for him, I also was like, oh my god, it's too expensive. Like, dude, you are not like Sergio Ramos or something like that. So, but looking back at how important Maguire was to United and even England, like shows the how secure they are at the back. Actually, Maguire to me is a very important leader for England at the back. And
Uh,
then he's a very good partner to Stones. Stones is more the agile, slightly more agile type. So I mean, Maguire is shows his worth and very important lah. And then he's a real threat when there's crosses coming in.
yeah. So for Maguire, right, I think basically it's just like the same effect as Van Dijk.
Mm.
It's like basically the same thing because the high price tag being criticized, and then like remember like because Maguire, I think like end of the season for Man U, he actually got injured, right? And he then
Yeah,
didn't play for the remaining two matches, and then see what happened to the result. They conceded quite a lot, right? And then they lost in the
yeah,
Europa final as well.
yeah. Also, a lot of fans do think that we lost because we didn't have Maguire at the back. Yes, he went through penalties, but he didn't have that solid rock at the back. That and also a ball carrying defender that can, like other than blocking everything, can confidently bring the ball forward and control from the back. So it shows that he is important.
Yeah, because from the first few matches for England side, they play without Maguire, and they are quite shaky, right? I think he's shaky, quite shaky in the back.
A bit shaky.
A bit shaky lah, but then like once Maguire comes back, and then like it's like pretty solid lah.
Yeah.
I think I can use Van Dijk case as an example as well, because remember when he got his season was how to say, couldn't play for the whole season, and then you can see Liverpool's form is trash.
Mm-hmm.
And now Netherlands without Van Dijk in the centre back,
Trash also.
trash also. I mean like both defenders, like they really can see like, so like the importance of players sometimes is also quite obvious, the importance of a player.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's almost it. So any last words for this quite matchup?
It'll be very fun if and only if what's that? Let's say suddenly England got free kick, right? Suddenly Luke Shaw put a Roberto Carlos type free kick. that won't happen, but that will be funny.
Yeah.
But I think this game, it'll be very entertaining. Like you'll really will be showing like it'll be hard, like really pure heart of the Denmark team versus an England team that is really hungry, really want to win something. So I just hope that Southgate just gets his formation and team selection right and doesn't play defensive, because yes, Denmark can score goals, but they are not exactly the most creative, crazy bunch of like of attacking play. They actually, I realize also they play a lot of the counter type, I think.
Yeah.
Like their counter attack is so unpredictable. Like, you do not know who's going to like be at the end of the ball. Can be Dolberg, can be Mullen, right? Yeah, so it's like
Netherlands, bro.
hey Mullen pula. What's his name? What what?
Braithwaite is it? Not Braithwaite is it? Braithwaite.
No, huh? Sorry.
Braithwaite is it? The Barcelona fella.
No, not Braithwaite. What's his name again? This dude.
Olsen.
No. Ayo, Male, Joachim Male.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, because he attacks like very randomly, you know. Like against Wales, I think he's the one who scored, right? Maybe. Yeah, he scored against Wales. So I mean, he plays well, so I mean, Denmark is very unpredictable. You know, so England just had to get that formation right. Like someone got home advantage. I mean, if they screw this up, then okay lah, Southgate out lah.
it's a really
You cannot-
100% home advantage.
Yeah, you cannot have a squad like England, like even what they have at home, like not in the squad today, right? Okay, bar the injuries. Okay, they still have Lingard that they didn't put in the team. And then they still have like quality players back. And then, yeah, of course, some injuries have affected England, like Trent and then Greenwood. So, I mean, you can't have a stacked squad like what England has and not go to at least a final, you know, at this point. Because the big teams are all out, man. Like literally all the big teams that established world-beating teams are all out. They can say, oh, Italy's a world-class team too, but I mean, no, they're not. I mean, you wouldn't, if you think like a few weeks ago, if Italy versus France, you would think France would beat Italy like just like that. So now it's like unpredictable already.
Like now it's everyone's game lah. Anyone's game.
Yeah.
So, so any final word?
Oh yeah, speaking of home advantage, right? You guys watched the Germany match. You're playing the anthem, and then the whole stadium, all of them are English, they're booing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Every time I take a touch, they boo, the whole stadium boo.
It's quite scary though. I mean, some of them all like hooligans, right? I mean, some of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think home advantage might play a role lah.
Yep. So I think this is basically it. Alright. So for me, I'm gonna go for as per usual England. I think England.
Yes, England.
Yeah.
England, right here.
So are you gonna support the team who destroyed Germany or the team that plays with heart?
I'm gonna go with the team that everyone support. Surprise. Surprise.
So for the final, we're gonna say Italy versus England. Yeah.
Italy versus England. Wow, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much our discussion for semi-finals. So Italy and England it is. Alright. So once again, thank you Farid and Beckham for joining us, and then we see you guys in the final. So stay tuned and take care. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye. He's coming home.